Welcome everybody to Sat Chat Live from ISTE 2015. I'm Brad Curry along with Billy Krakauer and Scott Rocco. We have a sold out crowd here. Now the people are registering. They're starting to come in here. We are in Ballroom A down here at the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Philadelphia. And today's topic will be Connected Learning, Connected World. We have some great guests that will join us here on the set, including Cybraryman, Jerry Blumengarten, Jenny Graybeck, Katrina Keene, Megan Everett, Carrie Ann Philbin, Julia Sweeney, James Robinson, and maybe a few mystery guests. Scott, how's everything going?
All right, Brad, this is very exciting. We're out here in Philadelphia at the start of ISTE, starting to get ready for a great conference. Yesterday we had our Tomorrow's Classrooms Today conference, which was very well attended. I thank everybody who did attend that conference. And today we have some really great guests who are demonstrating how you can be a connected educator, a connected learner, and how you can take learning to the next level. So we've got a lot of information here today. We're going to do our traditional Sat Chat. So we have people at tables already starting to communicate using the hashtag Sat Chat. Feel free also to use the hashtag ISTE 2015 with Sat Chat to let you know if you are here in Philadelphia with us for the ISTE conference, and we will have a lot of information to share the rest of the day. Billy.
It was great day. We're glad to be here again at ISTE 2015. After last year being at ISTE 2014 with Sat Chat Live, we have a couple of people who are returning and looking forward to a great day and great week of learning.
We have many people checking in from all over the world here on Twitter following the hashtag SatChat. Again, today's topic is Connected Learning, Connected World. We have many people checking in here from all over the world. And David Alina from Virginia is checking in. Megan Everett checked in. She's actually here on site. She says, woo woo, roll tide. And our friend Jerry Blumengarten has just walked into Ballroom A with his cape on.
Jerry, why don't you come up and join us here? We're going to start with you as we bring up our guests. So we'll start with the librarian to the social media world here. He's got a page for that. And we'll talk a little bit with Jerry about some of the things that he's up to, what he's been working on, and what he thinks about all this connected education stuff that's been going on over the last couple of years.
Speaking of connecting, sorry I'm late because I was just hanging out with world famous Kathy Schrock and Sue Gorman. I mean, how great is that? Coming to conferences is amazing. You connect, you learn, and share.
Jerry, we're here live at ISTE 2015. You are a ISTE regular. Before we get into the questions here and looking at the topic of connected learning, connected world, what is this conference all about for the people that are watching at home and the people that are here for the first time?
It's bringing together people who are passionate about education and technology. It's just wonderful meeting the people in the Bloggers Cafe, the Welcome Center, and just meeting them face to face and talking with them, because that's the best professional development you can have.
Absolutely. We are here live at ISTE 2015. We have many guests, including Jerry Blumengarten, Jenny Graybeck, Katrina Keene, Megan Everett, Carrie Ann Philbin, Julia Sweeney, and James Robinson. And who knows, we may have a couple guests come up here, some mystery guests. This is an extended version of Sat Chat today. We're going to be on air and on Twitter and here live at ISTE 2015 until 9 o'clock. Scott, how's it going there?
So Jerry, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you're working on right now and how you have used the ability to connect with other educators, not only in your state, but all over the world, to advance education, to improve the teaching that goes on in the classroom.
That's interesting because 3 years ago, some of the great people on 4th Chat decided to get together in a Google Hangout. We've done this for almost 3 years. There are about 8 of us here, and we represent 7 different states. We work on Google Documents together. We plan collaborative experiences for those classes. I read to 7 classes for Read Across America on Dr. Seuss's birthday as an example.
Very good. And then let's talk a little bit about your website. So that's the thing that everybody likes to go to as a resource. We always joke about there's a page for that, but there is a page for that. And talk to us a little bit about how that's developed over the years, how you expand on that, and if you have any idea exactly how many resources are actually on your site.
I started the site in April 11th, 1999, to give my students in the school, the staff, and the parents a one-stop educational shopping experience. And it's just grown and developed. After I retired, it just expanded to all grade levels, all subject areas. I have no idea how many links are on there. I don't care about that. That's not the important thing. It's built because my PLN shares some amazing sites, information, and apps.
That's great, Jerry. And that kind of leads us into question one here that's going to be tweeted out. Again, our topic today is connected learning, connected world. Jerry, in your mind, what is connectedness within the educational world? What does it mean to be connected?
The problem is we're not connected. We're not all connected. The people here get it.
Yeah.
Most people, I've been into schools where the administration and teachers just don't understand the power of being connected. First, you have to connect with your students. Then you have to connect your students to the world. If a student has a question a teacher can't answer, connect that person to an expert outside the classroom. We're in a digital age and we have to embrace it.
Absolutely. And I know Billy and Jerry, you guys have written a book along with Paula Nagel.
Yes.
You guys want to talk about it, a little bit about that?
The idea of this book came about, we always are talking about mystery location calls, mystery Skype calls, and we were saying there's really nothing beyond the mystery location call. You do it once and you're done. So myself, Nancy Carroll, Paula Nagel, we're starting to brainstorm, and Jerry, different ideas that we can do beyond the call and what can we do. And we started coming up with different ideas, and we were doing such as the reading with Jerry. We've done math surveys, and we said we should really write this all in a book, and we pitched it to a publisher, and they said, sure. So the book's due out in September. It's called Connecting Your Students to the World. It's projects and ideas, and we actually broke it into different seasons. So you can actually see summer, spring, winter, and fall, different ideas that you can do with your classrooms, and it's also Common Core Online. So you can use it daily in the classroom. The three of us being teachers, we said that's the most important thing. I want something that I can open up and use that day in my classroom.
And where can people find that book?
It's on Routledge, and I will be tweeting out the link in a couple of minutes.
And Jerry, going along the same lines there with the book that you and Billy wrote along with Paula Nagel, what's one of your favorite stories that you tell, or pieces of information that you share without revealing too much?
We can't tell you, otherwise we'll have to, well, anyway. I think the beauty of this book was we did the work together on a Google document, as we were talking on a Google Hangout. And why aren't students doing that? To collaborate with the world. It was amazing. I remember one time I was working on a sentence and all of a sudden it disappeared. I said, okay, Paula, put it back. Where did you put that sentence? But here we are able to collaborate. You can do this on a global level. That's the amazing thing. That's what, we're trying to show, that people should be doing this. Students should be doing this. Teachers should be doing this.
Jerry, let's talk about the fact that it's a very small group, and we've had this conversation. It's a very small group of educators that are actually connected in the grand scheme of the total number of educators out there. Why do you think there's resistance, or why do you think there is a slow catch-up to become a connected educator?
That's a tough one, because some people are just afraid of social media. They don't understand the power of social media. They don't understand the benefits of being on social media. So we have to be ambassadors. We have to go out there and show them how they can use technology for their students. And we also have to take advantage of the expertise of the students. I mean, every student has those devices. They're carrying them around. Why don't we let them use them in the classrooms? Why aren't we taking advantage of it? We're blocking sites. We're preventing people from learning. That's what we're doing.
Absolutely. We're here live at ISTE 2015. We have many guests here on SatChat Live this morning, including Jerry Blumengarten here sitting with us. Some people that are coming up here to sit with us: Jenny Graybeck, Katrina Keene, Megan Everett, Carrie Ann Philbin, and James Robinson from Raspberry Pi, which is they were tremendous yesterday at our conference, Tomorrow's Classrooms Today. And Julia Sweeney from EdSite will be joining us here live on set throughout the next 90 minutes. Billy, how are things going on Twitter there? And
Things are going very, very well on Twitter, and we are already up to over 20 viewers on the live feed. I'll be sending that live feed out once again once I could find my Twitter document here, because I kind of lost it between all these
we have
windows.
about 2,000 people in attendance here in the ballroom. No, I'm just kidding. There's a decent amount of people here in the ballroom.
For at 7:30 in the morning,
Yes.
as people are rolling into ISTE.
So why don't we talk a little bit, Brad, about the first question. We've asked Jerry to define connectedness with the educational world. Why don't you define it for everybody?
It's connectedness in the education world, for me, has been a game changer over the past 4 years. I can remember going to a conference in New Jersey back in 2011. I was sitting in a session, and the session was run by a person by the name of Eric Sheninger. At that time, I was not on Twitter, and something just clicked with me. I was like, how can I have not known about Twitter and all the different things that it can do, not only for yourself as a professional, but for others, for your school, and for your district. And so what I've tried to do over the last 4 years is try to spread that knowledge and spread that power. And you know, just being here, sitting in front of people, both virtually and physically, to be able to talk about connected learning in our connected world is pretty special, and it wouldn't have been possible had it not been for the connections that I made, particularly with Twitter. You know, there's all sorts of ways to connect, and I don't think it matters what tool you use, whether it's Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, those sorts of things. But the idea is to share, and the more you share the things that you're doing in your professional life, you know, the better off everyone will be, because ultimately it goes back to the kids and impacting their success. So to me, that's what being connected is all about.
So we have a couple people responding to the question out there, and David Alina said that connectedness is expanding your learning across the globe and connecting to people everywhere. That's the beauty of being a connected educator, is that you're not limited by time and space, location. You can just connect at any time, any place, anywhere. And then Kitty Tripp, who's here with us today, answered, being open and willing to explore and learn from others in the world around us. All the places you can go. So, and that's true. You know, as long as you connect, it's limitless. And you need to understand the fact that it opens up an entirely new world to you as an educator, which is the beauty of expanding our own learning and being lifelong learners ourselves.
I mean, look around this room. Look at all the people here. We have South Carolina, we have Hawaii, we have Tennessee, we have Florida, we have Ireland, we have England. I mean, look around. That's the connected world. We're a flat world now. Just in this own room. Look at that.
Everybody's so awake and alive right now. That's great. That's funny. Now, yeah, so Sharon Plant, as being a comedian this morning, she said that I look up to Eric because he's bald. And, I think that's pretty funny. I think Eric will enjoy that. Jerry, as we wind down with your time here on set, and we're starting to bring up other people, what can you tell us about the state of education right now, and what are we looking to in the future?
We need to start a revolution. Seriously. Get the teachers together with the students and parents and really provide our students with what they should be learning. Stop this testing, lockstep test preparation, and really prepare our students to be present ready, to be future ready.
All right. Well, thank you, Jerry, for your insight. We may bring it back up later on
Thank you,
the
Jerry.
second portion of it.
Thank you, Jerry.
Pleasure, guys.
Thank you. I like your cape. All right. As we go to commercial break and bring up our next guest, our next guest is from the great state of Alabama. She is a scholastic blogger, ASCD emerging leader, Hope Street fellow, and just an all-around
Amazing
tremendous
person.
Megan Everett, come on up. Megan, you're awake?
And Megan's actually happy it's an hour later for her, because she's usually up at 6:30 her time to do Sat Chat.
Hi, Megan.
Hey, Brad.
How's life?
It's good.
Good?
Yeah.
That's great. Megan, why don't you tell everybody about yourself, because we're here live on air and in the audience here.
You covered it.
I did. You're right.
You did. So I'm working with Hope Street as a national fellow this year, which is really exciting. This will be my 4th year with Scholastic. Blogging just classroom resources and things to do in your room, and I'll be moving back up to 3rd grade this year. So I'm excited.
3rd grade.
3rd grade.
Wow, that's
More than
crazy.
one MacBook. Woo-hoo.
That's great. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, Megan, you and I first met last year at the ASCD Emerging Leaders Conference down in DC. And at the time, I didn't realize that you had a blog on Scholastic. And I came across it a few months ago. I'm pretty amazed of the things that you're writing about and those sorts of things. So I encourage everybody to check out scholastic.com and find, or just Google Megan Everett, scholastic.com. You'll find her blog. What's the most favorite blog you've written so far, and why?
So last spring I did an appreciation of teachers kind of blog, and it was secrets of a teacher, things you don't really know, like the never having a chance to go to the bathroom, or that I really do like school pizza, things like that.
Yeah.
And it went over really well, but it was great because it was a chance to talk to teachers all over. It got a lot of feedback, and even when I meet people who have read the blog, that's the first thing that they want to talk about, what they agreed with, what they didn't agree with. So that was a good, piece to connect with.
You
And
actually like the square pizza?
I love the square pizza.
It's pretty good. And the tater tots.
now, Scott, we just tweeted out question 2, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We just, question 2 is, how are school stakeholders impacted by the connected world?
And so, for you, you're a school stakeholder, right? You're a parent.
Yeah.
You're a teacher. You are a spokesperson for all the great things that educators do throughout the world. How are school stakeholders? So you have multiple roles that you play as a stakeholder. How are they impacted by what we're doing now, like at ISTE and everything else? We're connecting, we're talking to each other virtually and in person. How's that translate?
Well, I think it's really great because it used to be that, there was the school happening and then there were the stakeholders, and it was all incumbent on the teachers to reach out, right?
Mhm.
So we had to go to them. But with all this connectedness and with everything we can do with the internet and connecting people to our classroom, it puts it on the stakeholders as well. They are drawn in more than they ever have been, which is awesome. I have a Facebook page for my class, and I take pictures all day long and videos all day long of what we're doing. The kids can model what they're doing in math for their parents, and they go home and play the game, and the parents know the rules because they've seen them play earlier that day. It just brings us all together in a way that maybe we weren't doing 5 years ago.
Now, after ASCD Emerging Leader Conference last summer, we formed a Voxer group
Yes,
Yeah, we
we
did.
did.
of many of the ASCD Emerging Leaders. And a lot of stuff we share is professional, a lot of it's personal. Bill, you want to talk to people about Voxer and how that's really made educators more connected, and the connectedness between ourselves on that group?
So Voxer, for those of you who don't know, it's a walkie-talkie app that you can leave messages for people or talk in real time. Last year, I learned it from Joe Mazza. He introduced me at, I think it was Ed Camp Philly. We were talking about, me and him wound up doing a session on it. We were talking a couple weeks before that. Came to ISTE last year, and actually Hacked Ed, which is today, 9 o'clock, great event, pre-ISTE event. And we did another workshop, and we're just talking, and down at ASCD and Leader to Leader in Virginia. Me and Brad are talking to a group of educators, and Brad showing off Voxer and how great it is. And a group of us just said, let's just get together. It was Emerging Leaders is an ASCD program that they select a number of educators, not just teachers, educators who exemplify different standards. And we actually, I'm going to give a shout out to Rob Pennington, who was named an Emerging Leader for 2015. Me, myself, Brad, and Megan are 2014 class. And we get together and share ideas from across all the world, not even just the 50 states. And we said, let's start using Voxer to stay connected after this conference. And it's myself, Brad, Megan, Alina Davis, who's in Florida, Lavana Roth, who's in Florida, Fred Endy, who's in New York, Eric Bernstein, who's in Connecticut, Barry Said in New Jersey, Jared, who's in Maryland, Amanda is in
Arkansas.
Arkansas,
So you get the idea.
and Michelle out in California. If I leave one of them off, they're gonna hang me later. And we share ideas, we talk personally. And what's nice is when somebody's looking for something for their classroom or for their school building, they can reach out. A bunch of us were going on different interviews and say, this is what I'm going on for an interview for. What's a good question to ask? What's a good feedback? And it's nice to have a group of people on that you can reach out to at any point in time. And technology is really flattened the world. We're able to now connect globally because of the technology. So, Megan.
And I just tweeted out my Voxer page.
Oh, thank you, Jerry.
Jerry's got a page for that.
Jerry's got a page for that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So, Megan, can you share a story with us of maybe something from either our Voxer group or just being a connected educator that you want to share with everybody?
Yeah, so our Voxer group is great, and right now I'm looking at, we don't have a mentoring program in our state, in our district, in our school, and so I've been kind of toying around with how could I impact that as just a classroom
Morning.
teacher.
Morning, how's everybody?
Good morning, guys. Our sound guys are here. Are you guys the sound guys?
No, not that.
Okay. Never mind that.
And so it's been great because I can toss it out to the group. The group has all these different resources. They have all these different
we don't
ideas.
need
They
it.
have different programs they've been involved with, and then they can shoot it back to me.
Is there a way to turn it
And
on?
then just with our emerging leader group,
Yeah.
through Twitter, and our friends over at Ed Therapy hooked up with a girl, kind of started talking like, hey, we've got some news and we can't really share it yet.
Yeah.
And kind of started talking offline
We're
and
live
found
too
out
right now.
that
On the camera. So
We're
yeah, you can
both-
talk, but I'm just saying.
we're both, she's going to be an emerging leader this year. It's
the
like,
one
oh,
that's
that's
on
great. I'm
Yeah.
an emerging leader. We found out we were both going to be Hope Street Fellows this year. So we made that connection before we went to DC together.
Yep.
So it's been awesome. And then when I came here, I found out that Rob's already connected with her as well. So we're just making all those different points together.
That's outstanding. Now we're live. Now we have a mic that for all these people to hear us. Hopefully, some more people start strolling in here during ISTE 2015 live SAT chat. Right now, we have Megan Everett on set. Megan is a educator from the great state of Alabama, and we are discussing question number 2. And Scott, why don't we talk about this question a little bit more here as we transition to question number 3. We're looking at stakeholders. Scott, you have a role as a parent, as a superintendent. What's that mean to you and being connected and that sort of thing?
I think one of the things it means, one of the things it means is actually meeting parents where they are, which means getting information out to parents in a venue that they can see it when they need to see it. So when we give information out in our school district now, we use an instant alert system, a Honeywell instant alert system. You can attach files to that. You can just send text. We send it out on Twitter, we post it on our website, and we put it on Facebook. And some people would say, well, why are you doing all of that? Well, because you don't know which piece of technology a parent is using so that you can actually know that you're getting as many people as possible the information that they require. We do that a couple times a day. So every morning we send out a couple of tweets about the activities for the school day, what athletics are going on, maybe there's some kind of play or musical going on, and then special events that are going on, plus press releases that we have for the district. Then we post that on our website. Because one of the things that we've realized is that if you don't connect your social media to your website becomes dead. So it becomes extinct and nobody will go to it. So if you make your website relevant by making feeds from your social media accounts go there live, people will actually go back to the website, they'll use it. So our Twitter feed is live, all of our press releases go up on district news on the left-hand side of the page. So we've made the website relevant again. For a while, nobody was going, no hits, nobody wanted to look there because there was irrelevant information and it wasn't appealing. So that's the way we've stayed connected. That's the way we've kept people informed. We're meeting parents, we're meeting students where they are. We've also, just a little side note, we are doing something and the hashtag is called Chargers on the Road. So our mascot for the district is the Charger, the horse. What we've done is we've said to our students and our parents and our community members this summer, wherever you go, take a picture with something with either our town name or Chargers on it, tweet it to us using the hashtag, and then we'll put it up on a Google map. And so far, we've gotten a couple of things from New Jersey, one from MIT. Our German students are going to Germany, so we're gonna have a lot of stuff from Germany, but it's a way to keep the community involved with the district over the summer, not to forget about us until September. So it already kicked off and it's going well.
Sorry, Megan. As we wind down with Megan's time here on the set of Sat Chat Live here from ISTE 2015 in the great city of Philadelphia, Megan, what are you looking forward to during these next 3 or 4 days at this conference?
I'm excited to be at ISTE for a change. ISTE likes to plan ISTE during my summer vacation, and that doesn't ever work out well. So I'm really excited to be here and to finally connect with these people that I've actually just seen as a face on a screen. Jerry, for example, I've never met in person, but I've obviously followed for a long time. I'm like, yeah, I know that page. I've seen that page. So I'm more excited about the connections that'll be made, I think, than any of the specific sessions.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you,
will see
Megan.
you around.
Yeah.
All right. Round of applause for Megan Everett as she takes a step down from the set of Sat Chat Live. Right now, we're looking at question 3 in the Twitterverse. Is technology needed to be connected? And how are we doing here, Billy, on the stage here of Sat Chat with being connected with our mics and technology?
I think we got everything going. Hopefully everyone can hear us online. We have 25 viewers now watching.
Awesome. So we're going to bring up our next guest. Coming all the way from Tennessee, Chattanooga, I believe, Katrina Keene. Come on up, Katrina. How's it going?
To get up here all the way from Tennessee, huh?
I know. It's okay. How's it going? All right? Everything good?
Wonderful, yes, glad to be here.
Now you want
Exciting.
to tell the audience that's here and virtually a little bit about yourself?
I have a unique situation. I'm from Tennessee, live in Chattanooga. However, I'm the Director of Innovation in Fort Myers, Florida at Canterbury School. So how does that work? So every 2 weeks, I fly down and work with Canterbury School, and I get to be in the classrooms with teachers, design the tech plan, do all kinds of fun stuff. So it's awesome, and I get the chance still to be in the classroom with students, which I love.
That's awesome, and we're looking at Connected, and actually you presented yesterday at the Tomorrow's Classrooms Today conference, and you had a pretty cool shirt on. How is your shirt connected?
So I have used augmented reality for the last 2 years, and most recently got on Daiquiri, which is incredible.
Okay.
And so I'll actually be talking about Daiquiri today at MegaShare, but I decided to take it to another level,
later on,
and I enabled my shirt as a target. So you can actually scan the back of my shirt and it comes to life and plays a little video and does some stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome, and Scott, we're looking at question 3 here, which is technology needed to be connected? Do we need technology to be connected, Katrina?
You know, I mean, I think that, we've certainly done it without technology. Kind of the consensus on Sat Chat right now is that technology makes it easier, obviously, for us to be connected. And it's actually a topic that I'm very passionate about because we have, all these tools. Schools are just saturated with technology, yet we don't seem to be using it. I find it funny that we keep saying, we need to teach the students, we need to bring in the students. the students are doing it. I have an 11-year-old son at home who is connected all over the world. He is a Minecraft fanatic, and his dream is to work for Mojang. But and he is connected constantly every single day with other kids around the world that are on Minecraft, and he gets on, Skype and connects all around the world. So students are doing it, and I think that if we take the time even to talk with our students and say, okay, how are you connected? We might even find out that they already are. So these are easy things that we can bring into the classroom through resources such as, Skype Classroom, Mystery Skype. I've used FaceTime. I've been actually video conferencing since 1998, I believe.
Wow.
Way back when it was See You, See Me. And I had the little eyeball on top of my computer, and it was quite a challenge to get a good picture with whoever I was video conferencing with. But it's so much easier now, and the tools are built into our computers. So technology definitely does make it easier.
Scott?
So if you want to be connected, yeah, obviously you have to use technology. But once you've connected through technology, it's up to you to continue on with that connectedness. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to work with the people? Are you going to collaborate? Are you going to share? That's up to you. The technology makes it easier to connect. It also makes it easier to talk with the people when you come to events like ISTE. So most of us know each other through Twitter, but have never talked before. And once you meet those people, it's like you've been hanging out with those people for almost your entire life. They're good friends. It breaks down the ice. You can say, hey, how are you? It's great to see you. And then you have a conversation about education or about life in general. So you need the connection through technology first. What you do with it after that, it's up to you.
The ISTE conference is pretty amazing, Katrina, as you know. Now, have you been to ISTE before? And if so, what impact it's had on you, and what are you looking forward to this time around?
Yeah, this is my fourth or fifth time, I think, at ISTE. It's just incredible. And I think the thing that I enjoy the most at ISTE is connecting, networking with other educators. It is my absolute most favorite thing. And it's interesting, I walk around, of course, I'm involved in so many Twitter chats, and so I walk around, looking to see, okay, I know this person, where are they? And you try to find them and connect with them. And ISTE is just a perfect platform to do that.
That's awesome. And I think, I always tell people the technology and the virtual stuff really doesn't matter unless you have the connections with kids. Having those connections with kids, other stakeholders in the physical world, that sort of thing, goes hand in hand with the virtual world. So I think it's important. So we're moving into question 4 now, which is, question 4 is up. Scott has tweeted it out. Who pushes your thinking in the connected world? So as we wind down with your time here on the set of SatChat Live, Katrina, who pushes your thinking out in the Twitter world, or however you are connected, or in your own life?
I think that in speaking to Twitter life, every chat that I'm on, every single person in that chat brings something to it. Every educator has a unique way of viewing various topics. More specifically, I've been in the last year drawn to the Connected Educator series that Corwin Press has put out, and all those authors are phenomenal. And if you've not had a chance to check those out, you can actually download them online. They'll be here to purchase. But I know that a few of you have already spoke to some of those people here. They're just phenomenal. They're people just like us, educators, just like us that are in schools, that are living it every single day, and they bring so much to the ed tech world.
I'm glad you brought that up, Katrina. And this Wednesday, actually at 8:30, here at ISTE, the Corwin Connected Educators will have a panel discussion, and we're looking forward to that. Katrina, I thank you for coming on.
Thank you so
And
much.
have a great experience. Look forward to connecting with you. Round of applause for Katrina Keene. As I said, we would have a couple mystery guests come join us. And one of the mystery guests is here, Mr. Adam Bello. If you would like to pop up here onto the set He didn't know he was a mystery guest. Surprise.
Mystery to him. That's the ultimate mystery guest. It is a mystery to me.
I feel like we're on Seinfeld. We just bring up guests, whenever we want to.
It's the Merv Griffin set.
I want those. Hey, I want those sound effects. Boom, boom, boom.
Exactly, yes. Adam, I'm great. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm
All right.
excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited as
Just
well.
literally walked in the door.
See, you don't mess around, man. You bring it right on. Adam, for those that don't know you, which many people already do, here in the audience and out in the virtual world, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I started as a classroom teacher, was technology training specialist, tech director, started a couple of startups, EduTech or EduClipper. We learned it just for fun. We're doing this thing called Circuits. And yeah, I love sharing about technology. I love, empowering students and empowering teachers.
Now, I know you're attending ISTE, but are you also holding sessions, presenting?
Yeah, we're presenting. I have 4 presentations. They're all group presentations, which is awesome because I get to kind of work with my friends who are incredibly inspiring as well. Doing 2 sessions with Steve Dembo. I'm doing a session with Dean Chareski, and then I'm doing a session with Aaron Klein, Michelle Baldwin, and Kyle Pace. So it'll be fun.
That's a lineup. That's awesome. Scott, we're looking at question 4 here. Scott and Adam, who pushes your thinking in a connected world? Our topic for today is connected learning, connected world. Scott, your thoughts and Adam's thoughts on that? Sorry about the mic there.
Well, who doesn't push my thinking might be you. Just kidding. You didn't get the joke, Brad.
Actually, I still don't get it.
We'll explain it to you later, Brad.
Actually, it is, it's anybody who is willing to take a risk that pushes my thinking. I think anybody that's willing to put themselves out there is willing to either post a blog or send a tweet or actually be willing to connect with somebody that they didn't connect with before they push my thinking. The beauty, and we've talked about this often, is that title doesn't matter in social media. So you can learn from anybody, a brand new teacher, a teacher in college learning to be a teacher, somebody who is an expert in the tech field that maybe isn't tied to education. You can learn from anybody that's out there. And there's a number of people that will regularly blog and provide information about what they're doing every day. And I find that to actually be a great experience. I read more now that I'm a connected educator than I probably read in my entire career training to be an educator. And that's because the content that's being provided is relevant. So, often you'll put out blogs about what you're doing in your school district with pictures, which actually adds to the environment. So you can read it, but then if you see what's also happening, it says, hey, you know what? I can do that too. So anybody who's willing to put out what they're trying and what they're doing, and also be willing to admit that, you know what, not everything works. And that kind of gives us the environment to be able to take that risk also.
Ditto. Honestly, I think you hit it on the head, right? Anyone who's sharing, anyone that's able to kind of put out new ideas that are not yours or not in jive with yours, I think are really helpful. I love being able to have conversations with people that, they question some of the things I'm saying, and that's totally cool because it makes me actually really deep dive and think further onto the things that I was saying and thinking. And there are times where we come to a conclusion that there's more to what we were talking about. That's the beauty of Twitter, and I think that that's kind of the power of social media once you get beyond like the initial stages of figuring out who your PLN is, but building a large group where if people they don't have a problem saying, well, I feel differently, and those are sometimes the best conversations to have, right? When people actually challenge you on your beliefs and you actually have a debate which is respectful and really thoughtful and intelligent.
Billy, who, as we wind down here with question 4, who pushes your thinking in the virtual world or in the physical world in terms of your practice as an educator, your profession as an educator?
Definitely in the virtual world, Paul Noggle and Jerry over here. We talk every Sunday night, and we're always thinking of different projects and ideas that we can do. And it's just a matter of what's going to work in my classroom, what's going to work for me, and it's those connections from Twitter are so important, and they really do push your thinking beyond just, okay, I'm going to do the same lesson the same way. Being able to talk to people from Tennessee, from Michigan, from Hawaii, and think of a way that we can do a lesson differently is so important in this day and age. We need to break down the walls of the 4 classrooms and connect our students to the world.
Adam, as your time on the set here winds down, is there one thing that you're looking forward to here during your time at ISTE 2015 that you can bring back to your job and then impact ultimately, I guess, the success of students?
I think I'm looking for new ideas, new stories that are successes or challenges from people that are really practicing their craft. You know, this is my 7th or 8th year in a row at ISTE, and I feel like, you know, it really is a great time to connect with friends, both old and new. And I think in terms of what I'm looking for is I'm looking to find people that are willing to share stories of how they have grown as an educator and how they help their students grow, and then kind of be able to amplify their message of success so I can share it with other people throughout the year.
That's awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's a mystery guest.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know. Thanks so much.
Thanks, man. See you.
Thank you, Adam.
Adam Bella.
Breaking your stuff. Sorry.
So we just tweeted out question 4, right, Scott?
Actually,
Or 5.
What
Do you have a page for that?
What are your go-to resources for connecting in order to promote the success of students? So I'll start with one of them that I actually use to promote information for my staff. I enjoy using Smore, smore.com. It's a great little newsletter to put together. I've used it to the point where I have exceeded the free use, so now I have to pay for it, but it's one of the few things that I pay for that I actually enjoy using. And it's easy to use, manage, and get information out to my staff.
That's great. And then we're going to, talking about resources and cool tools out there, we're going to bring up 2 people from Raspberry Pi, which is they presented yesterday, Carrie Ann and, sorry about that.
James.
Carrie Ann and James. Raspberry Pi is a cool tool, and they're going to come up here and talk about that and the impact that it's having on students and education. So come on up, guys. We appreciate you coming in. We can move over. Step off. Slide down. Hi, Carrie Ann. How you doing? Carrie Ann and James, thank you for joining us here on the set of Sat Chat Live, ISTE 2015 here in Philadelphia. Why don't you tell us a bit about yourselves and what you do and where you're from and all that good stuff?
Sure. So we're clearly from our accents are from the UK. We were both teachers. I was teaching in East London and James was teaching in Cambridge. We were teaching a subject at the time which was called ICT, or IT, I might want to call it. And something revolutionary sort of happened in the UK. We now have this new computing curriculum. And James and I have been at the forefront of that change in our classrooms, and we now work with the Raspberry Pi Foundation, which is a UK charity, and we're trying to promote the advancement of education of adults and children in the fields of computer science and computing. And I'm very passionate about diversity and technology. And one of the things that you've been talking about is about connected educators and connected classrooms. And I think you need technology to be able to connect with people. And what a lot of people aren't aware of is that a lot of children actually don't have access to the internet, do not have access to technology. And so with the Raspberry Pi, this credit card sized computer that costs $30, and we are able to put technology in the hands of children who perhaps don't have access to it, and we're connecting them with the world, which is very exciting.
That's awesome. James?
Just to add to that, I think I'm maybe not quite as far down the journey as Carrie Ann in terms of being a connected educator. Something I found really useful was being in school, taking on this new curriculum. I found myself very much the sort of the only person in the school doing that. All the other teachers had no sort of knowledge of what was going on with the coding curriculum, computer curriculum, and it was sort of after going on a CPD course with Carrie Ann and sort of connecting with educators through that actually sort of opened the door to Twitter and using tools like that, and that became really powerful to connect with people that were going through similar experiences around the UK and finding out what they were doing and learning from them and connecting with them. That was really powerful.
That's awesome. I know yesterday you guys were over at Roman Catholic High School for the inaugural Tomorrow's Classrooms Today conference, and when people came out of that session, they were really excited and passionate about how can we integrate Raspberry Pi into our curriculum to promote the success of students. Can you delve into that a little bit more?
Sure. So as the Raspberry Pi Foundation, we provide free training for teachers. We call it Pi Academy. So if there are any STEM teachers or anyone who's interested in bringing digital making to their classroom or computer science, we offer this free training for teachers. And in 2016, we're actually running 4 training courses here in the USA. The first one will be at the Computer History Museum in California. So we're going to train 100 teachers in the United States for free. And so if that's something you're interested in being a part of, just head to raspberrypi.org. You'll find all the information you need on there. And we also write free resources for teachers. So we are teachers, we've come from a teaching background, and we write completely free and open source resources that you can take and use in your classroom. So really fun project ideas about turning a Raspberry Pi into a way of, like, you put it inside a bird box and you can record with a camera. What the birds are doing, and that's something you can do with your children very cheaply, very easily. We can do time-lapse photography with a Raspberry Pi really cheaply. James might want to talk about high-altitude ballooning.
Sure. So one of the really cool things for me about the Raspberry Pi is that it gives you lots of opportunities to inspire and sort of broaden horizons for pupils. So a couple of projects that we've got going on, both very space-related. We're a bit space mad at the minute. We've got a project called AstroPi. We've got a couple of Raspberry Pis going to the International Space Station, and we've got the UK kids are entering a competition at the moment to have their code run on those AstroPis on the space station. And we're also we did a project in my school last year. We sent a Raspberry Pi on a helium balloon up into the upper atmosphere, taking pictures the whole way during its flight, transmitting those back down to Earth. We did this with kids, and it really showed the kids what was possible with some technology, a little bit of effort, a little bit of programming, and some science and applied kind of understanding. And the kids they were blown away by it. It was amazing. Got pictures of the curvature of the Earth, and we're running some training in Cambridge in August, and we've got people from the States applying. So do look at that on our website as well.
That's awesome. And Billy, I know next year you're going to be teaching some STEM courses at your elementary school. Seeing what you saw yesterday at Tomorrow's Classrooms today, looking ahead to ISTE, thinking about Raspberry Pi and those sorts of things, how's that going to fit into what you possibly could do next year?
The possibilities are endless, and that's what's so amazing about a conference such as ISTE. The number of ideas and products that you get to see is just endless. And one of the things I'll do a quick highlight of, one of my favorite parts of ISTE is the poster sessions. Walking around at the poster sessions, students are presenting, teachers are presenting. You could hit 20 different people in about a half an hour and get all these wonderful ideas. And with Raspberry Pi, I was talking to James and Carrie Ann. I said, I need to talk to you guys more, because I was only able to stay a little bit in their presentation because I had to run out to do a couple other things. But their product is really, truly amazing, and it's changing the landscape of what STEM and possibilities for everything, especially with the integration of Scratch. So it's truly amazing different technologies that are out there.
Carrie and James, as your time winds down here on the set of SatChat Live, what are you looking forward to here over the next few days at ISTE?
So this is our first ISTE. I kind of laugh and scares us. But we're very looking forward to meeting as many people as possible. We're here because we want to connect with teachers from around the world. So we're here for the next few days. Please come and talk to us. We're really excited to share and show people. We've got Raspberry Pis with us. If you want to have a go, come and connect with us.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If you see us just flagging, please come and help us and show us how to get on. We are excited, but also a bit nervous.
Well, we thank you, James and Carrie Ann, for joining us here on the set of SatChat Live. Round of applause for Raspberry Pi. Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
And we're hopping here both in person and on SatChat here in Philadelphia at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, ISTE 2015. Scott's coming back up on set here, and we are still in the process. Actually, we just finished talking about question 5, go-to resources. We're moving on to question 6 here in a moment. How will ISTE 2015 impact connectedness in the years to come? This is an extended version of SatChat Live. We're actually going to be going until 9 o'clock, so continue to tweet out and share your thoughts on our topic, Connected Learning, Connected World. Our next guest comes from the great state of North Carolina. She is one of the founders, moderators of Chat Hack and many other Twitter discussions, a Apple Distinguished Educator and a presenter, consultant, and all sorts of things. The wonderful Jenny Grayback. Jenny, come on up. Jenny, how's it going?
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. Hi.
How are
Nice
you?
to finally meet you in
Nice to
person.
meet you in
I
person.
know. How are things going? Did you get real good?
I did.
That's good.
Yes.
I'm glad.
Uneventful.
Outstanding. I'm looking forward to, I think you have like 100 sessions you're presenting here at ISTE, something like
About that, yeah.
I know, I'm kidding. But I'm looking forward to many of your sessions and talking to you here for a moment about connected learning, connected world. Jenny, you want to tell everybody about yourself, what you do and all that good stuff?
Sure. Well, I started as a third grade teacher, which really got me involved in technology, but mostly because growing up, I had all of the technology gadgets because my dad was a computer programmer. So as a third grade teacher, I was already implementing technology in my first year, 15 years ago. Oh my gosh. So I was really involved in that, and I eventually ended up being a tech facilitator and then an ESL technology facilitator for Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools.
Okay.
I worked with 259 ESL teachers with technology, and we started our first iPad pilot in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools.
Wow.
So that got me really involved in Apple technology, and now I'm a director of technology at the Fletcher School in Charlotte, which is a K-12 school for students who have learning disabilities.
Awesome. That's great. Scott, we're on question number 6 here, correct? How will ISTE 2015 impact connectedness in the years to come? Scott and Jen, you guys want to talk about that a little bit, how connectedness will...
I mean, I think what's great about ISTE is that, well, this is actually, my first ISTE was here in Philly in 2011, so I'm glad to be back in Philly. And what I found in that first one is I wasn't as involved in Twitter and all of that as I am now, but I felt that the conference really helped me to make those face-to-face connections. Whereas when I was on Twitter, it was great because you can communicate, but it's just different when you see people in person and you hear them present. You just get this whole other aspect to it. And I love being able to meet people that I've been following for years. So I just think that it continues to grow more and more, and that, you know, if you don't come to these, you know, I feel like you're missing out. So you have to come when you can, because these are great.
Absolutely. Scott?
The great thing is actually here, walking around the room and talking and meeting people that I've only seen their face online, and being able to have that conversation with them, sit down for a couple minutes, talk, get to know them a little better, and that really lasts a lifetime. You're able to then continue that connection after the conference ends, and hopefully you match back up at another conference or at another event. So that's the beauty of ISTE and connectedness and carrying on well beyond these next couple of days.
So Jenny, you're presenting, I believe, what, 3 or 4 sessions? 4 sessions. You want to talk about a few of those sessions and what people can expect?
One of the ones that is called Create and Innovate using iTunes U, and I'm a super huge fan of iTunes U. If you have used an iPad at all, you'll know that iTunes U is a free app, and they just announced iTunes U 3.0 2 days ago. It is allowing students to turn in assignments and teachers to grade and hand in. So we're really excited that we can now revamp our presentation this week with all this new information that I think teachers will really, really like. I'm also presenting with Jamie Kasip, I think is how you say his last name, doing an Apple Google panel.
Wow.
Kind of talking about the pros and cons of each tool, but really just comparing and contrasting. I'm going to share how our students who have learning disabilities are using built-in accessibility features with iPad and MacBook.
Awesome. That's great. Now, I know Jenny, you are the moderator of Chat Hack, but you also moderate a few other chats, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Want to talk about those?
Sure. So we also do an iOS Ed chat. It started off as one-to-one iPad chat, but then we found that some schools were using iPod touches and some were using just iPhones with bring your own device programs. So we changed it to iOS Ed chat. We're currently on summer vacation, But we are Thursdays at 8 p.m. So when we start back up in the fall, please let us know if you're interested in moderating, because we would love people who are using iOS devices in the classroom to share what they're doing.
That's awesome. And again, I know you're presenting, but looking ahead in the next 4 or 5 days, what's one thing that you're going to try to take away from this conference to bring back to your school, to your profession?
I think just talking to others about how to get everybody else on board. I think that's the hardest thing about being in my position as technology director, is that it can be hard to change. And especially at the school where I'm at, I have teachers who are wonderful, amazing teachers. They've been there for 20 years. And I really have to, I struggle with trying to get people to change the way that they use their pedagogy and how they introduce technology when they never have before. So I really want to see, how others are doing that, how they're making that change happen, because it is not easy.
No, it's not.
What's the one thing you're looking forward to at ISTE?
Meeting you.
I knew you were going to say that
That was set up.
We had that set up.
I knew it.
You guys have never met before?
No, we met last year at
I was
ISTE.
gonna
We
say.
did.
Yeah. Well, I thank you, Jenny, for joining us here for a few moments on the set of Sat Chat Live. I look forward to connecting with you and attending some of your sessions. And thank you.
Let me give one more shout
Yes.
out. So I can't not talk about Ross Cooper because he'll kill me.
Oh,
Ross is like my brother. We love to hate each other, but we're great people on Sat Chat Hack. We just really love to do that
Yes.
when Sat Chat is on vacation. What I love most about Sat Chat and Sat Chat Hack is that I can wake up early on Saturday morning and I can learn for myself where no one bothers me. Kids are sleeping, my husband's sleeping, and we love it. So thank you very much for starting this.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to bring up our next round of applause for Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. We, again, have an extended version of Sat Chat Live here. We're going to 9 o'clock. And we thank everybody that's here in attendance and everybody that's joining us on Twitter and on our live Google Hangout. And we're going to bring up our next guest, who happens to be Julia Sweeney from a great company called EdSite. Julia, come on up. Yeah, the dream one. Yes, we know. Masters. That's right. Go. Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Now, Julia, why don't you tell everybody about yourself, your role in education and where you've been, where you've come from, and all that good stuff.
Cool. So hello, I'm Julia, and I was a teacher. I taught middle school social studies in ELA. I taught in Mississippi and Arkansas, and I'm from California. After I taught for a couple years, I decided I wanted to live in Ireland, so I moved there.
Where's your accent?
Well, I'm holding on to my California girl persona.
Okay.
Listen to the Beach Boys. Always there. Yeah, so I moved to Ireland. I was just going to take a year to explore, have some fun. But then I realized how much I missed education. So I started doing online content creation for EdSite, and then told them, wow, I really like this site. I think there's a lot of opportunity to bring this site outside of America. And so I wanted to be their global outreach, and they said yes.
Wow,
So I now live in Ireland and work for EdSite.
that's great. And so you don't actually, I mean, you can work remotely, obviously, when you're in Philadelphia and things like that. Bill, you had some questions?
I know from speaking with you yesterday, you do something with global outreach. You want to talk a little bit more about that and a little bit more about EdSite's website as well?
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, EdSite. EdSite is great, and I'm not just saying that because I work for them, but edsite.com offers teachers a way to create digital content for their students. You can find a lot of stuff, you can take what you find and customize it, or you can create your own stuff from scratch. And to be honest, I think it has the most question types of any site I've come across, so that's our claim to fame, in my opinion. Now, globally, I imagine sharing resources to only get better from here. And part of doing global outreach is understanding how we can make sure content is relevant to local context. So one project we're doing right now is a curriculum mapping project between the Irish curriculum and the Common Core standards. I'll actually tweet out the link. You guys can check out the page. We're crowdsourcing the entire thing. It's going to be open source because the idea is that this information could help Irish teachers access more American resources, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to be an ed site, or we're working with Kamara Ireland. It won't be anyone's property. It's just there to help teachers.
That's great. Now, Scott, you've posted some additional questions for this extended live SAT chat here for ISTE 2015. We'll talk about those.
Yeah, it puts about 3 overtime questions. We usually do 6 in the hour, so we're going to put 3 more up, 1 every 10 minutes. And the one we're on now, which is Q7, is how can connected educators help connect those who are not connected? And this goes back to the conversation Jerry and I had up here at the table. A small percentage of us that are actually connected. And the job that we have to do as ambassadors of connected education is to get other people interested in it. Let them see the value. So let's see how people are going to do that.
All right, so looking at question number 7, right, Scott? How can connected educators help connect those who are not connected? Your whole profession, your job is to connect with people virtually and in the physical world. How's that changed, and then what are you looking forward to here at ISTE and those sorts of things?
So, you know, I think about, actually, when we're talking about connected educators, I was thinking about that Malcolm Gladwell book and how there are connectors in the world, and how oftentimes we're all connected, but through these few individuals who seem to know everybody. And I just think that we're also seeing that play out in the online world too. It's like we're all connected through Jerry. Or someone else who has a ton of followers. But it's just interesting how we can push ourselves to become that person that seems to be connected to everyone. I'm really stoked about ISTE. I've never been here before. So I think I'm most excited just to meet new people.
That's great. That's great. Now, there are many great tools out there like EdSite for students to be impacted in a positive way. Are there other tools that EdSite works well with? I'm sure there's many, but other tools or other ways of learning that students are able to make sense of their learning?
Yeah. So EdSite's pretty cool in the sense that I think it can work with anything. So you can embed videos. So let's say you want your students to create a video that describes something, or you want them to create a story on StoryShare or Storybird. You could then embed that story and give the students a quiz based on this assignment, this creation from a student. App smashing is one of my favorite topics. So giving the students a contest maybe and saying, okay, we are learning about Native Americans. Go ahead, everyone's going to create a 10-minute video, and the winner is going to have the homework be based on their video. And then go ahead, put that video in an EdSite assignment, and it's shared with the entire class. They've got an assignment. It feels real official to them.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Julia, I appreciate your time up here on the set of SAT Chat Live from ISTE 2015 here at the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Philadelphia, PA. You have a great product, and it seems like you're very knowledgeable, and I appreciate your insight. And thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Round of applause for Julia. Thank you.
As we said, we're going to bring up a couple of mystery guests, and one person we want to bring up, he's a fellow New Jersey educator. He, for those of you who don't know, a little conference called Teach Me, and Kyle Colwood, can you come up here? After driving, Kyle left early this morning just to make it to SAT Chat Live.
Yes.
Hey, how are you guys?
And surprisingly, you're up having 2 twin girls now
That's right.
in your house.
Yeah, congratulations. by the way.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're having fun with that. Hey, Kyle, obviously we know each other for many years of connecting at conferences and helping each other out and things along those lines. Can you tell us a little about yourself and the role you here have? I think it's today with Teach Me? Tomorrow. With Teach Me?
Yeah, 2 years ago I started at Tuckerton Elementary School. I'm their technology coordinator. I'm also their tech teacher, so I kind of push into classes as well as a tech coach role. As Brad said, tomorrow we are hosting our first ever Teach Meet here at ISD. I'm excited because it's actually official. So it's all day 8:30 to 3:30, and I'm excited. It's huge over in the UK and in Australia, but it's kind of small and grassroots here in the US, and we're just excited to bring the format to everybody.
That's awesome. I know often we connect on Voxer. I know you Voxed me the other day, and it's a great tool, something I think that you use a lot, but I think you're also using another tool on your phone. I saw
Periscope.
If you talk about Periscope or Voxer and the power that has on connectedness in the education world.
Yeah, sure. I started using Voxer probably about 3.5 years ago when I was working at Stockton University, and I noticed some of our student workers were using this, and I'd never heard of it at the time. So I was a tech there, so being out in the field working on computers rather than calling back, and so we just started using Voxer and started communicating voice chat back and forth, sending pictures, if there was a computer issue. Hey, how do I look at this, or an issue? It was so much easier than calling, trying to explain it. You can just shoot a picture over. So I started using that, and then when I came to ISTE in San Antonio, I was really pushing the people that were with me to, hey, you guys got to get on Voxer. This is great. It's so much easier to communicate at a large, huge conference like this than trying to email, trying to text, trying to keep everybody together. It's just so easy just to do a quick voice chat and keep everybody together. And as far as Periscope, I just kind of discovered that when it came out a couple of months ago. And I've just kind of been messing around with it. But it really, I think it has the power at conferences like this, because actually I jumped on right away. I was filming SatChat, showing you guys. And a bunch of people were saying, hey, thanks, we're not there, but it makes me feel like we're there. We're in the room with you guys. And, it's just a great tool, and especially, if you're at the school, you can film assemblies, you can do all that, but you always have to be mindful of what students cannot be filmed. That's always in the forefront of my mind, so I try to always get a wide shot or make sure that those students are out of the picture.
Absolutely. Scott?
Yeah, I just want to talk to Kyle a little bit about his role in school now and how he has been pushing the value of technology and connectedness with not only teachers, but maybe administrators and students and families.
Yeah, when I first started, I think there were only 2 teachers in our building. We have about 20 full-time homeroom teachers, and we have 80. We're a small school. But there were only about 2 teachers on Twitter. So me being a huge Twitter person, when I came in there, I'm busting down the door saying, hey, you guys got to get on. And it was funny, the first person to message me after I was hired, I hadn't even set foot in the building yet, our 6th grade teacher, Carl Twitter, messaged me on Twitter and said, welcome to TES. So that was a cool thing, to have one teacher there was already on the ground with that. But I have seen personally the power of Twitter and what it has done for me in my career. So I always want to share that with everybody every time I interact with them about this. And actually, Susan Bearden and I are running a session tomorrow about the power of Twitter and PDs. So, or Monday, I'm excited about that. So, but when you get in the class and when you get in the building, you don't want to be closed off. Yes, you can talk to the schools in your local area, but it's so much more powerful to talk to teachers who are in other countries and different parts of your state that you never knew were working on the same projects, or sharing what's out there and seeing what they're doing, and also even bringing it back home, kind of showing your parents, hey, these are what your kids are doing in the building. This is awesome. Look what they're doing. Because sometimes there's not that communication when they get home. Hey, what'd you do today at school? Yeah, exactly. So what I wanted to bring there to my school was just, our school is awesome, our kids are awesome, and our teachers are doing amazing things. And I wanted to share that with the parents and the community.
Kyle, as we're winding down here, and all of us have always talked, I know you and I have many, many conversations about EdCamp New Jersey and TeachMeet New Jersey. What's one piece of advice you would give to an unconnected educator to move forward in the connected world? Maybe it's attending a conference, an unconference. Do you want to share?
Well, of course, I'm always going to say attend an unconference because I think they're a great resource. But we here and online, we all know about that already. But for the teacher that's never been to one, it's eye-opening. It really is. And to see the power of unconferences is that it's run by teachers. So you don't have to worry about things being sold to you or things being pushed at you. It's all it is just, hey, this is what I'm doing in my classroom, and it's awesome. You should try it too. But just getting yourselves outside those four walls, it's eye-opening, and it really can impact your classroom and improve your students.
That's awesome, Kyle. We appreciate you taking a few moments to sit with us here on the set of Sat Chat Live. I look forward to connecting with you out here at the conference this week. And have a good one, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yep.
And to chat.
And just to share a couple of things, anyone who's at ISTE today probably is heading already to the HackDad, which is one of the largest unconferences. Check out TeachMeet New Jersey on August 13th down in Stockton, which is actually not too far of a drive if you're in Pennsylvania. And one other thing I'm going to share is EdCamp Leadership. There's currently, I believe, over 14 locations across the world. If you're not already registered, I'm going to tweet out the link, but check out, find the nearest location to you. July 13th, they're all on the same day except for the one in North Carolina, which is on Friday, July 10th in Raleigh, North Carolina. But otherwise, there's a bunch of different locations. If you can make one, I would definitely recommend it.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up here in the next few minutes here at ISTE 2015 Sat Chat Live. And as we wrap up, I would like to bring up Jerry Blumengarten one more time to share his words of wisdom in case you missed it at the beginning, because we had him on at the beginning. And what the heck, we don't, at least in person, we don't get to experience Jerry that often, especially with his cape.
It's a brand new cape for ISTE, by the way.
Cyberman 1, there you go. Jerry, we have a few minutes left here.
Just don't tug on my cape, Brad.
I won't, I promise, buddy, I promise. Just again, speak to what you spoke to before about the power of ISTE and the power of being a connected educator, and then we'll wrap up.
I used to go to conferences years ago. I was very involved with the National Council of Social Studies. I was a national chairperson. I hardly knew anyone at those conferences. Today, it's wonderful to go to a conference because you are meeting with your Twitter family. We are family. We're connected. We share with each other. We care about each other. We support each other. And I think it's wonderful.
That's awesome. And do you have any advice for people that are new to ISTE? What strategies or what do you do, and how do you make the most of it?
Hang out in the lounges, the Largus Cafe, the Welcome Lounge. Talk to people. That's the key. That's the best way of connecting and learning and sharing. And join us on Twitter, please. We have chats for just about any grade level, subject area, states, and they're amazing people. And it's a flat, we're connecting across the world. We're connecting with superintendents like the great Scott Rocco over here, with administrators like Brad Curry, with outstanding educators that are gathered in this room today. All of you are wonderful, even Billy Krakauer.
Thanks, Jerry.
All right, Scott, you want to wrap things up here, my friend?
Sure. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who's live in the audience today and got up extra early after many of you attended our conference yesterday. We'd like to thank you for attending tomorrow's Classrooms Today conference in Philadelphia the day before ISTE started. We appreciate your support and hopefully you learned something there yesterday from all of the great presentations. And finally, we're going to leave you and close with the last question, which I'm going to post out right now. Question 9, one of our overtime questions, is what is your summer goal as a connected educator? And I think we all need to have a summer goal as educators in general to continue learning. But as a connected educator, you can take that goal and you can expand that goal out and you can share that goal and collaborate with other educators. And that's the power of using technology, using ed tech. So we'll close with that last thought. Please put your responses on Twitter and we will be archiving this. Right, Billy?
Correct. I'm working on it right now.
He's working on it as we speak. And thank you for joining us today at ISTE.
Test drive a tech tool this summer.
Yes.
And by the way, I have a lot of tech pages.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. That's it. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry.